It's Poorly Borlstein, and we need to talk about Netflix's original series, The Dragon Prince. I at first saw a completely unrelated video that somebody had dubbed over with a funny accent, and that kind of sent me down the rabbit hole of other unrelated YouTube videos until I finally gave it a shot and I watched the show. And I've only seen season one, but there are two standout scenes that just take the Dragon Prince from like dumb kid show where there's, you know, funny inappropriate jokes that kids probably don't get, and the animation looks like it's, 3 frames a decade. That aside, those are the only gripes really. The show's amazing, but there are two moments that make the show just fucking I can't say this word. Phenomenal. Okay, I got it. Two scenes that make the fuck. Two scenes that make the show fucking phenomenal. So the first one, we are introduced to a character who does sign language. Maybe she hurt her throat in conflict. She's like a general or something. Maybe she's just been born that way. We don't really know, and it doesn't really matter. But when we're first introduced to her, she has this male companion that speaks for her or translates what she says, which kind of has a degree of metaphor there, if you think about it. So far, we haven't really seen any kind of sexism in the show whatsoever. But anyway, she goes to visit her sister's grave or burial or some kind of memorial for her. There's like a statue, and she sits down and she just starts signing, and the interpreter guy, he doesn't say anything. And the reason he doesn't say anything is there's nobody to hear the interpretation. And he doesn't dumbly say like, "Oh, you're saying that about your sister?" Like, he doesn't do anything fucking stupid at all. She just starts signing, and it goes on for about 45 seconds. There's just 45 seconds where you don't know what the fuck she's saying unless you read sign language. And I'm like, "Oh, is there something wrong with this scene? They didn't translate this." Like, and I go and I hit the subtitles, and I turn on audio description, and the narrator's like, she signs to her sister and she looks sad, and I'm like, "Oh, well, at least now I know it's her sister, but I don't know what she's saying." And then it kind of dawned on me once I realized that I couldn't understand what she was saying, that, the show was trying to do something. It was making me experience what it's like to be her, to be missing, some key sense or some key ability that makes life easier to live. You got to feel what it was like to not be able to understand the people around you the same way they all understand each other, and how differing that feels. And I was just like, I was fucking blown away. I mean, I can't even think of any mainstream show, especially for fucking kids, that has that level of balls, that comes out and has just like 45 seconds of this girl just signing to her dead sister. You don't know what the fuck she's saying. I don't know what the fuck she said. I still don't even know what she said. And what she said, you know, isn't really what's important. What's important is the effect. And the effect is fucking astounding. Like, this might be the most full balls, full artistic integrity thing any, like, film or TV show has done in a fucking decade. It is. I can't think of anything that fucking compares. Can you imagine a kid's show has 45 seconds of just somebody signing, and they don't like interrupt it with like, "Oh wow, yeah, your sister was really great," or "Oh, don't feel bad." Like, no, he doesn't fucking say anything. You just have to sit there and watch it. You just have to sit. You don't have anything. You have nothing to go on other than just like learning, developing empathy. It is like, holy fucking shit. It is just like, it is fucking phenomenal. It is probably the best thing I've ever seen a TV show do of all time. It instantly rockets up to 10 out of 10, the greatest thing in all of television. Like, nothing can fucking compare. It is so fucking good. Then there's one other moment, and this one is more of a dialogue piece that's said. So the situation, spoilers. You should just go watch the show, but let's talk about it anyway. There's a dog who gets its paw hurt, and this girl, she wants to fix her puppy because, her family isn't going to let her keep the puppy because, it's going to be wounded, and they're going to give it back, and, it's not going to be able to live or really contribute to the family, probably. There's a whole lot of implied reasons that don't really go on, that don't really go said. So the girl risks everything to go up to this big mountain to go to a healer. And what we're led to believe is that she healed the dog. And then, years later, we're with the main cast now, and she goes back up the mountain, and we discover that the puppy that's now all grown up never actually had its leg healed at all. But instead, the person was a moon mage, and she created an illusion of the dog to have a fourth leg. And she says, she has this line where you didn't need your leg to be happy. Everybody else did. And that was probably the most powerful thing, once again, that I've heard in any fucking television show or anything, that really strikes at the core of like non-able-bodied people, that it's not being disabled that makes you, uncomfortable. It's everybody else. Like, she needed to mask her disability so that other people would allow her to live, would allow her to be happy. Because otherwise, if she didn't have her leg, the girl's family was gonna, force her to get rid of the dog. And that is, I thought, fucking crazy. Because obviously, so our understanding is the dog has grown up its entire life without that leg, even though it appears that it has a leg, and has been just fine. Kind of proving the Moon Mage lady's own thesis. And that is just fucking phenomenal. Like, holy fucking shit. Like, just the series is so easy to watch, and the characters' interaction, like, they actually say things to each other based on things that happened previously. And there is a lot of action, but the action's pretty good, actually, and they usually have very contextual reasons for what's happening. It's not like just, oh, it's a river chase, but it's like, oh, what's up with this character? They don't like the water, and then that leads them to this other place, and everything is really heavily connected. It's not just meaningless action. And then also, like, the villain, like, you don't even know that they're the villain at the beginning, and you kind of, it isn't until the end of season 1 who who the villain is 100%. Like, in the beginning, it's like, oh, like, who's the bad guys? Are the elves the bad guys? Is this wizard the bad guy? What's going on? And then you kind of see these people roped into doing bad because they're, like, misunderstanding the circumstances. So it's a good example of, like, having villains who aren't, like, Disney tier stupid. Like, it's very, I wouldn't even say it's complex, but they're just humans. It's not that it's just like, oh, I'm a horrible villain, I want to take over everything and fuck the world and blah-de-blah-de-blah. Like, here it seems to be, my understanding of the villain thus far seems to be one of just human protectionism, that he wants to ensure that humans are not, he doesn't want humans to have to live under the threat of, like, a nuclear weapon, i.e. a dragon or something. So he gives up his humanity, in a sense, to engage in dark magic, which usually comes at a higher price and requires some kind of immoral actions on one's behalf to sustain such dark magic, which is pretty fucking good. But it doesn't have him just be completely evil. You get very slowly doled out bits about how this character is bad until the final shot in season 1, where it's like, oh yeah, that guy's definitely the villain. But you don't know that at the beginning, and you kind of get an idea that he was kind of in a relationship with the king. I don't know. There's a bit to talk about the show. I feel like that would be a whole other discussion. But if you thought that if the wizard and the king were gay, please let me know, because I got that idea. I wasn't sure, and I felt like there's, I don't know, maybe season 2 there's some kind of trick, or maybe the king's alive. I don't fucking know. We didn't really ever see him die, did we? Like, holy fucking shit, this show is fucking amazing. If you get the chance to watch it, just get down to the Netflix and fucking watch it. Like, it's so easy to watch too. Like, holy shit. But yeah, I had to make a video because those 2 scenes were just so fucking good. Like, they're just for watching season 1 alone, they are worth watching for that. Like, it is so astounding. I can't think of anything where, like, I guess the only thing that comes close is, like, there's that scene in Star Wars 2 where there's like no sound for a bit. And like, I think even before the showing in my theater, they had a big warning that was like, there's a part in this movie where there's not going to be any sound. Don't worry, the movie is still playing as normal. That's part of the film. See, that's what we call no fucking balls. That's what we call not respecting your fucking audience. You're assuming that your audience is too dumb to live. Capital letter 2. Number 2. Like, oh my god, the ADHD audience won't understand that, like, we had this like soundless moment in the movie for whatever reason. But here we go. We got this Netflix show for ADHD children who probably can't even sit down for 5 seconds to watch the damn thing. And here they come out full fucking balls. Not only are we going to have a character who has the sign language, but also that character is not going to be translated when she's saying her most intimate feelings to her sister. She's just going to be sitting there talking about hopping through the forest or whatever shit. I don't know what the fuck she was saying. My presumption is that she was talking about running through the fields with her sister and how she used to like that or something. I have no idea. And you know, frankly, that's what I feel like I deserve to know. Is I deserve to know nothing, because I can communicate with my mouth and I can hear with my ears, and I don't need to sign language. So why would I ever learn it? Because I'm a lazy asshole. You know, I'm the asshole. The show made me an asshole now, and that's fucking awesome. What did Star Wars make you other than just fucking like a gluttonous pig monster? Like, fuck Star Wars and fucking, and just watch The Dragon Prince all the fucking time, 24/7 ad nauseum. And yeah, that's it. Just watch The Dragon Prince. Fuck Star Wars too. And if you like Star Wars, fuck you too.